All right, so check this out. You might have heard me say in my book or here on the podcast that if you have 100 sales a day at a $30 price point, that's $1 million business. Now, that is a predictable plan. We can get you there in about 12 months, is what we do all day, every day. But that might be a tall mountain to climb for you. So check this out. If you run these numbers a little bit simpler, the person I'm going to be chatting with today felt a lot of freedom when we realized that if he just maintained 10 sales a day, that he would have a six-figure business. And not just a six-figure business, but a six-figure profit business. Now, getting to 10 sales a day, this is super reasonable. I mean, if you give me like 3 to 6 months, we can have you at 10 sales a day. So Brandon in this interview is feeling a little bit discouraged until we run the numbers and realize that a few of the things that he's doing are creating spikes in sales that sometimes get him 10 sales a day. And if he can just do that for a couple of months and get repeat customers and reviews, he's going to have a six-figure business, six-figure profit business, which allows us to have the ability to build $1 million business over the course of 12 to 18 months. So if you're at the beginning of your journey and you think the $1 million business feels out of reach, you're going to find freedom in this episode where you realize that you only need a handful of sales a day to completely change your financial future. This is something that I do for members of the 1%. I book one-on-ones with them from time to time. We share them on the podcast, which is good for us because it highlights people who are doing cool things. It's also cool for you because you get exposure for your brand and you get to work with me one-on-one, which would usually cost you thousands of dollars. And I just do it as a service for people in the 1%. So if you're ready to start your road to 1 million and you want to be in queue for a conversation like this, come join us at capitalism.com/1. Fill out the form and we'll see if we can keep you on the road to 1 million. All right, let's go hang out with Brandon and figure out how we can create a six-figure profit business for the next few weeks. Let's go.
Hey, Brandon, how are ya?
Hey, Ryan, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Good. It's nice to see you. I know we've chatted a couple times on 1% calls.
Yes, sir.
This is kind of an opportunity for us to go a little bit deeper. So tell me a little bit about your business, where you want some help, and where you want to take this.
Yeah, absolutely. So our business, I've launched a supplement company basically for competitive youth athletes.
Yeah.
And our first product is called Focus Fuel. And so it does just that for athletes. And honestly, I take it myself. So it even adults. So, but our focus is athletes. Man, so obviously the goal, we want to build a 7-figure business, but most immediately it's how do we get to 10 sales a day?
Mm-hmm.
And
good question.
And so we launched and it kind of trailed off. And so now we're just kind of like, okay, I listened to
Let me real quick to something what happened at launch. So yeah, you say you trailed off, but where did launch put you?
Okay, so we launched with, so I built a Facebook page and then out of that a group. So the page had about like 1,700 people likes on that. The group had about 140 people in it. I had 150, 200 emails. Okay, like that. And so I don't know where I lost it because I felt like I did good up to launch and sent out some emails, leading into launch and trying to prep for launch. I built actually a list of product champions, and some people like that. And so then we launched and it was almost just crickets. And so we had a few sales, nothing big or glamorous. I think the first 2 weeks we averaged one a day.
Okay.
And then it just trailed off from there. So I would say over the last few days, it's been 0.
Okay.
And
so your launch kind of bombed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So we got we're back in the thick of it, wondering what the heck are we doing here? Okay. So let me ask you something, Brandon. How do you describe your product to your potential customers?
I guess when I'm talking with someone face to face, if somebody's like, hey, what does this do? I tell them, man, it does exactly what it sounds like. It's Focus Fuel. So it gives the athlete a little boost of energy that lasts for several hours, but then because of what's in it, it really grounds them and drives in focus so they can perform and kind complete tasks and things like that, take instruction and perform at a higher level.
Okay, great. So I'm imagining this like the new Gatorade. Okay, so go ahead. And I bring that analogy up intentionally because Gatorade did a really good job of speaking to the core demographic, which was athletes, and speaking about the end result of what would happen. If basically sugar and salt in water, right? I mean, it is pure marketing.
Yes.
But it's all about how it's going to increase your performance.
Yeah.
Crock of crap, by the way. But well, marketed beautifully because they spoke about the end result for a specific person. And of course, half the people who drink Gatorade are not athletes. They're just like, at the time, that was healthier than soda, supposedly, right?
Right.
Wow, we've come, Brandon. So I propose this to you. What would be the end result which we would speak about to that athlete? And I'm curious if that's how you communicated the product coming into launch.
That's a fair question, to be honest with you. Thinking back, I feel like I did a good job about it, but I obviously didn't. And
how many sales? When was launch, and how many sales have you made roughly since you launched?
Man, so we just actually had a tick up today. So a little success story there. But I would say total launch was 3-4 weeks ago, and total we're at 27 units, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right. So we've taken some sales.
Yes.
Enough for us to get some feedback at least.
Yes.
It's not zero. So it's important for you to know you went through the grind and you took a sale. That is the start. Right?
Yes.
So what's your price point?
It's right under $54.
Okay, great. So we've made like $1,500. Is that right? My math right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Not zero. I'd ask you, how many business owners make $1,500 the first month? Right? I mean,
right.
Like, it's like a little bit of reframing. It might be some perspective here for us to play with.
That's good.
Like, good work, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you made $1,500 in sales your first month.
Heck yeah.
And you're disappointed. which means, like, maybe it's not so bad.
It's true. Yeah, it's very true. That's very
So to have 30 sales at what is a premium price point? Because what is the product? A powder or a supplement or what?
It's a chewable tablet. So in a bottle, you get 90 tablets.
I mean, to sell 90 chewable tablets for $54 and do that 27 times in your first couple weeks is not a horrible start.
You're right.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have something to work with, because if these athletes love our product, some of them will leave reviews, some of them will make videos.
Yeah.
So before you go and rebuild the entire launch process, which we can do together.
Okay.
But before you do that, it's important for you to have that perspective shift so that you know that there's 27 or 30 people that cared enough to buy the product at a reasonably premium price point.
Yes.
And you need to go all in on these people.
Yeah.
So they have a great experience. Follow up with them. Turn them into fans. That's where you kind of earn your keep.
Okay.
And we can rebuild the launch process, but I want you to know that like 27 people was enough to get a handful of reviews, get some good testimonials, a couple of videos, and that's a really good start.
So so speaking about reviews, so we have on our Amazon listing, we're at 6 5-star thing, and we have actually 5 written reviews.
Okay, good.
A handful.
Okay, good. So we have a start here, right? You said there was a uptick today.
Yeah.
Where were you going?
So my wife last night's on Facebook, and we're just kind of, you know, throwing things around in the air. And so my son plays catcher in Little League, and it's been like 107 here where we're at, so it's super hot.
Yeah.
Put on catcher here, and he's like, you know, just it's hard to stay focused in that.
Where are you based?
I'm in Abilene, Texas.
Okay, yeah. I'm in Austin. Has been 105, so it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's been nuts. So anyway, they've been, of course, my kids, they take Focus Fuel and all of that, and so she posted on one of the groups she's in, hey, it's been 105. My kid is a catcher. This is what he takes. And, hey, it helped him get past the temperature and really focus, and it helped him with his endurance.
Yeah, great.
And now all of a sudden we had, 11, 12 sales today.
You could have led with that.
Yes.
Okay. Were you including those 11 sales
Yes.
in the 27?
Yes.
Okay. This is helpful to know. All right. So you actually basically made as much in the Facebook post, almost as much of the Facebook post you did throughout the entire launch.
Absolutely.
All right. So that tells me that there was a messaging problem in the launch.
Okay.
Okay. So we had a very clear problem, a very clear solution, and a very clear result in one Facebook post.
Yes.
Clear person, athletes, problem, the temperatures, solution, your product. It helped him focus. That was the result. So we got a very clear story and picture here, and they're immediately take.
Yes.
So that means that what probably went wrong with your launch was that you didn't have those pieces. We didn't have person, problem, solution, result. Now, we don't need to go back and fix that. We just need to take that and plug it into what we do moving forward. What does that look like? It means you should probably send out a similar message to your email list, or take a screenshot of the Facebook post and send it out to your list.
Okay.
Or you should do a clip interviewing your boy talking about playing catcher and see what sticks. Or you should send it out to a few people who play catcher, and here's why, right? And milking stuff like that for everything you can.
Okay.
And keep pushing on the gas there.
Okay.
And what you'll find is that a few of these messages hit, and it will take you, one will do 4 sales, 2 sales, 5 sales. And I was like, today I do 11 sales. Awesome. Which means that it is possible to get 10 sales a day.
Yes. Absolutely. It's that reframing of how you see it.
Yeah. So, well, the reframing there, is a good way you put it, but the real reframing here, Brandon, is it's seeing the momentum that we do have rather than focusing on the momentum that we don't have. So a lot of people will stay just focused on all the problems that they're facing rather than focusing on what momentum has been created, even if it's a little bit, because it's so much more energizing. When you perceive momentum, you find more energy and you find more momentum. And it just so happens you did a little experiment today and you got a pop of, you had a $500 day. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You had about a $600 day.
Yes.
It's a good start for being 3 weeks into business.
True. Yes.
That would be 18 grand a month if you could do that. Does that mean 600 times 30, 18?
Yeah.
In 18 grand?
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Right. And hey, numbers guy. What's 600 times 30? Is that 1800? 18 grand.
18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Sam, my business partner. I'm hanging out at his house.
Nice.
So
have to have all the answers. You just got to surround you with something we do, right?
yeah, that's exactly right, Brandon. So it kind of freeing to think about like, okay, I made a Facebook post today, got 11 sales, it's $600. If all that ever happened was the momentum that we had today was every day, you make 18 grand a month.
Yes.
In business.
Yes.
With
absolutely.
Like if that all ever happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like so if you think about it that way, does it make you feel a little less disappointed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'm ready to go again. You know.
Yeah.
Let's give it one more day.
But here's what you can do with that, Brandon. So you just kind of rolled the dice on making a post in Facebook, and it copped out 11 sales. So very, very low barrier to entry. You made a Facebook post.
Yes.
So doesn't it make you want to roll that dice as many times as humanly possible?
Absolutely.
So what do we do with this? We try to make as many micro pieces of content a day. We try to get plugged into Facebook groups. We try to find other athletes that are struggling with this problem that we're having in the Texas heat.
Yes.
We try to find other ways to represent the product, other problems that our athletes are having. And of course, you're not going to have all of them or even a lot of them by tomorrow, but you'll keep guessing and you'll milk the ones that work. And out of those 11 people that bought today, one might post about it on Instagram, right? And as you sell 100, one of those 100 may be someone who has distribution in a local store. And one out of 1,000 is an influencer or a strategic partner, right? And so the snowball starts to build as you roll that dice as many possible. You're beaming right now. So what are you thinking about right now?
No, yeah. So it's the whole thing, like, and I haven't even watched sales. My wife has been watching sales, and she's like, I saw that there too, right? So it's been a fun day. And so, but what you're describing is like the exact thoughts that have been going through my head all day long. It's like I've made it hard. Like, what's the formula? What's the whatever, right up to now? And she makes a Facebook post in a group, and we sell 11 or 12. So long, like it's just too easy. Okay, so now I'm like, how many? Like, exactly what you're saying. I'm like, how many times could I do this? What groups am I already in that I could post in? Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
And wouldn't it be nice if you owned the group, right? And you do own a group.
Yes.
So it shows you the power of having a community that has your attention.
It's true.
So we continue to build and nurture that group too. Also, if you have 11 sales, find out who those sales were and make videos and tell them thank you.
Okay.
And you take screenshots of those reviews and you post them on Instagram or you post them in your own Facebook group and you tag those people and you say thank you. Okay. You can milk a lot of this even in the early stages.
Okay.
And the thing is that what gets celebrated gets repeated. So if you are publicly showing appreciation for people who leave reviews, people are more likely to leave reviews. If you are publicly acknowledging and thanking and telling other people what it means to you when they buy your product, you're more likely to get more sales. And what gets appreciated gets repeated, or what gets celebrated gets repeated. So the more you can focus on the momentum that is happening and feeding those flames, the faster the 10 sales a day is going to be your regular. And now we're talking about getting to 25s. Hell, we started this conversation where you're like, my lunch bombed, and now I'm just pumped for you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm pumped too. So it's, yeah, I mean, and even like we're talking about our own group, I was like, man, we just take the same post and post it in our group, and maybe that gives us another 10 sales.
That's right.
So yeah, it's good.
So you just need to be rolling that dice as much as possible right now.
Okay.
And milking it for all it's worth. And in 45 days, you'll have some days where you're like, well, there was only one sale. My life is over. And then you'll have days where there's 7, and then 3, and then 15, new record.
Yes.
But the trend line will be up if you continue to roll the dice. And just as importantly, you love on and appreciate the people who are showing up and celebrating those reviews and those sales.
Okay.
And then, it'll be 45 days from now, you got 25 reviews, and you'll be like, I don't have a system for getting reviews. I just hustled my way to 25 reviews.
Yes.
Right? And I would have like a great marketing strategy, just kind of hustle my way to 12 sales a day, which the outside world is nothing, but it's actually 20 grand a month.
Right.
Yeah. And now we're through the grind, and we can start talking about building proper systems for growth, and we'll have margin to work with and profit to work with and momentum to work with.
Okay.
But you can kind of see how fast it can pick up that momentum, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, I got nowhere to be, so how else can I help, Brandon?
Let me see. One of the things that I have somewhat had questions about is adding value to, I guess, my person, my group, and like, and I don't, again, I'm probably making it too hard, but I'm thinking a lot about like the small pieces of content that I just give away for free or whatever, right? Something like that. I've kind of struggled with what does that look like for my person, and what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Do you mean free content on platforms like podcasts, YouTube, TikTok? Or do you mean like free giveaways to get people on an email list? What exactly do you mean?
I guess more like giveaways to help collect emails and that sort of thing.
Okay. So a lot of people try to be too cute with this.
Okay.
Like in your case, you have a very clear product with a very clear problem. So if you were to send them to the guide with the 3 tricks to keeping your focus, it would just be weird.
Yes.
Right?
It's so weird. Yeah.
Right. So it would probably be more direct and simpler in your case if you had an ad or a piece of content that talked about the problem, just like your wife did. It's hot as balls out here in Texas.
Yeah.
We take this and it really helps. Here's why. And the link is, to get $25 off your first order or like whatever the offer is, and they opt in. And now everybody who's on your email list it's called a hot list. It's everybody who's signed up and said, I'm interested. Like I'm at least thinking about buying your product. That would just be the simplest thing for now. And you've heard me say like, there's usually a good, better, best way to do it. That's the good way to do it. And good does not mean like slacking. It's still good. It's enough to do a good job. I think you're just one of those cases where trying to be too cute with it makes it awkward. and you shouldn't try too hard.
And honestly, that's kind of why I've struggled with it, because you're exactly right. I'm like, no, that's just weird and dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's the name of the brand?
It's called Edge Youth Athlete Nutrition.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, if you were to tell me, if you had said, oh, it's called Biohacked Athlete, how to get juiced without doing anything illegal, I mean, then it would make sense to put together something that was about, optimal results through biohacking for athletes. Like that would make sense to put some sort of lead magnet together.
Okay.
Since you have a very easy to understand product, I think that would just complicate the process too much.
Okay.
I would instead put more attention into building community, running ads, building your traffic triangle, doing things that you've been doing, and you just got to pound some pavement for a couple of months through the grind until you've got a solid base of reviews and, at least 10 sales a day.
And I was just remembering, I listened to a podcast that you did a couple of days ago. It's an older one, but in that you mentioned that, the first 6 months, it really feels like there's nothing going on. Nothing happening. You're like, why am I here? What am I doing? And but then you follow that up with, that's everybody, right? And
Everybody's
normal. And so I'm like, oh, okay, good. Nothing is going on, but stuff is going on. You just see it. So
that's right. Like, in my brands, I have brands that I feel like nothing's happening.
Yes.
Right? And now some stuff is happening. And it's not like the clouds parted and everything's wonderful. It's, there's stuff happening now.
Yeah.
So in your case, you had sourcing products and coming with the idea and shipping to Amazon. Nothing's happening. Then you have a launch and still nothing's happening. And then today you have a little pop, something happened.
Yes.
I see this. You're a great example about why I like premium brands. I love this idea that we can have, gosh, if all you ever did was 25 sales a day, you have a $40,000 a month. That happens when I drink a beer while I cannot do basic math. $54 times 25 sales a day times 30. It's $40,000.
Right at it.
Boom.
Yes.
I mean, with really strong profit margins. This is the stuff that people don't appreciate about all of this. Like, if you work for a year and you fail to hit the million, you still have a multi-six-figure business with high profit margins and a brand that you're really excited about, even though there was no helium-10 data saying that you should sell nootropic supplements for catchers.
Absolutely. Yes. That's awesome. That's exciting when you look at things like that, and man, even if we quote fail at a year and you still walk away making $500,000 a year and six figures in the income, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you do for work right now?
So actually right now, well, I do a couple of things, but this is really my focus right now. So I don't have a job or anything. I've been a business owner. So actually one of the things I'm getting ready.
You say you've been a business owner? Is it?
Yeah.
So you've been an entrepreneur, but this is a new type of business for you.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So I've never done anything online or built an online brand or anything. So.
Okay. Good for you. So there was a reason I asked, because we're just talking about this. Like, if all that ever happened, right?
Yeah.
Failed and you had, 200,000, 150,000, 200,000 income. First of all, what first world problems we're talking about. Right. But just for fun, I want you to play with me for a second. If you were to invest that, since you have another business, if you were to just have this, and again, it failed, it only had a small amount of money, but you invested it all just into broad-based index funds for a long time. And I mean, a long time. What's like 50 years? How old are you?
Okay. I'm 39.
Okay. 39. So by the time you were 89, that would be $100 million. Wow.
That's wild.
So you had this tiny little sports business that was just a side thing, but you invested all the money for a few decades. That's $100 million. So I guess launch didn't go so bad.
Oh, darn. Oh, man, that is crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. So things can really, when you think about how big things can compound over the long term,
Yes.
you start to get really thankful for those 27 sales.
Absolutely. Well, and and it's one of those things, it's like the one thing that I've learned being an entrepreneur that I just know is I have a timeline in my head that I want things to happen.
Yeah.
And that doesn't typically ever happen. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I if I can stick it out long enough, like it will, it's not a matter of if, it's a when, and just figuring the pieces to the puzzle out. So
We can have everything we want, not usually on our timetable.
100%.
We get it usually doesn't happen on our timeline, but we can have everything that we want if our time horizon's long enough. This is at this point I'm just hanging out with you now, Brandon. But
Yeah, no,
I love it. A thing that I've really come to understand is if I have a long enough time horizon, it's really hard to fail.
yes.
Because I hate to repeat myself, but if you're good to customers and you experiment, even if it doesn't hit all your wildest dreams, if your time horizon's long enough, you're doing good work. Something's going to happen.
Yes.
And it may not become the $100 million thing, but we'll probably spit off enough cash flow for you to invest for the long term that will become $100 million.
That's absolutely right.
Ironically, it's the belief that it won't that stops us from doing that, because then we don't invest for the very long term and let things come. Wild how it all works.
Well, and you know what? We've only talked about one product.
Yeah.
That doesn't include 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is fun because we started this like my launch bombs, and now we're back to $100 million, and it only took us 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do for you tonight?
Man, no, I'm good. I
man.
appreciate it.
Well, it's good to see. I always enjoy seeing you pop in on the 1% calls.
Yes, sir.
We're just seeing you on the next one.
You got it. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, man. Take care.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
The day after Brandon and I recorded this episode, someone else in the 1% community posted a screenshot of their sales, and it was their first $500 day. That was really cool because their business was only 4 weeks old. They launched right at the same time as Brandon. They have about the same price point as Brandon, and they have a very tiny, small audience. It's about 100 people on an email list. And this person had their first $500 day on their 4th week. And $500 a day is $15,000 a month. $15,000 a month is $180,000 a year. His profit margin is about 50%. So he's just under $100,000 a year in gross profit. I don't know what his other expenses are, but his gross profit is almost $100,000 a year. He's been in business for 4 weeks. So we extrapolate this over 3 months, 6 months. Now you can start to see why I feel so convicted about getting you on the grind, getting you to take your first darn sale, getting you to 25 sales a day, and building $1 million business. You can just see how these numbers play out if you have a decent launch and you get your first $500 a day in 30 days, and we're going to release a couple more products. You can see how the belief structure starts to change. So if you want this transformation of not only your financial future, but what goes on between your ears of believing what is possible, come be a part of this community that is doing this every freaking day. Go to capitalism.com/1, fill out the form, follow in the footsteps of Brandon and the other members of the 1% who are on the road to 1 million, because we know how to do this and we can help you. And if you give me 12 months we can have you building a great business that puts you on the path to whatever you want in life. Capitalism.com/one. Come join us. Thanks for watching. See you next time.